Here we go. Main event, Big Brain Bouts number 123.
Let's get it on.
Round 1, fight!
In the bottom right side, returned from his tiny 5-day holiday, it's our Canadian Protoss who's living in South Korea. Of course, representing Basilisk, it is a Trigger. And in the top left side, we're looking at the main base of the man who played against Reynor a little while ago. That didn't go too hot for him, but let's see how good the TVP looks on this patch with 300 mineral command centers. It is Bunny. I've always loved Bunny. Bunny currently teamless, unfortunately, ever since Falcons has disbanded. They have no longer showed interest in Starcraft 2. I think the Trigger should be fine in this best of 5. I think he can do it because historically I feel like PvT has been Trigger's strongest matchup over the last few years. Bunny can be very good and he's always exciting, he's always fun. Like, he's definitely not a turtle Terran. Likes to attack, be active on the map, multi-prong a little. So let's hope we have a fun, explosive series. As I mentioned before, but this is perhaps for the people who watch this back at YouTube. These games have been pre-played a couple of hours ago. I of course don't know the outcome of the series. And nobody has seen these games yet, so it's not quite live, but it is a premiere. And of course, today is the 24th of July, 2026, the first weekend post World Cup. Feels a little bit dull in the world of sports right now, but then there is Starcraft, and now apparently Zero Space. Yesterday I played Zero Space for the very first time. I have mixed feelings. It's definitely not all bad, but I also wouldn't necessarily say that it was like all good. But I'm happy that I got to try it for the very first time. And we'll give it another shot. It's just so overwhelming to learn a new RTS. There's so much to get familiar with. And after playing the same game for 16 years, like everything always just feels strange, looks strange, and it takes a little while. Bunny was a tiny bit indecisive. He had a Marine on the production tab. He cancelled it, went for a Reaper instead. So no SCV scout, but a Reaper fast expand on the low ground. He did win patches 3-1. And probably massacred 400 or 500 Hydras in a single best of 5. It was a lot of Hydras went down in the making of the Goblin victory, but it was a really fun series. First series of the night was a lot of fun. It was only 3,500 MMR gaming, but we had a super good time. I'm very happy for Rexy that he got the W. I think Goblin Soul Spirit was a perfect match to make. We'll obviously gladly give Soul Spirit another chance in the near future. If he keeps on playing in the weekly cups and we see a bit more of our French Zerg player, we'll make sure to invite him again. I have not heard Bunny's opinion about this patch or the 8 work of video gaming overall, but often the Korean pro gamers, they seem to make statements as a group rather than an individual. Where I feel like in the Western scene, a lot of people just speak out on the stream or make a YouTube video. The Koreans, they mostly kind of discuss things with each other, and then there is like a bit of a shared statement. And I'm sure that, I guess Bunny shares the sentiment of most of the Korean gamers that they're also not very happy with all of this. Rexy's so happy that he even edited Liquipedia after a century of being lazy. Hey. Isn't he one of the all-time GOAT contributors? Not everyone can be Cynical Death every month, but I've seen Rexy in the top 10 of people that make the most amount of edits more than once. Trigger going for Robo first here. That's a tiny bit surprising to me. Robo first. Seems to be very eager to go up to 3 bases quickly. Doors are wide open. There's potential here for Bunny immediately, guys. Like a single Hellion driving into the natural when the Protoss units are a bit out of position. I think you lose at least 1 probe here, maybe 2. No, he's not going to lose 2. I'm not loving this build from Trigger, because the biggest problem for Protoss players that open up like this is that your army is very immobile for a long time. You can't really apply pressure, so Terran should have flawless macro, and their first timing, whether they go for multi-prong aggression... Matrix? What? Oh, it's a fake, obviously, sorry. I was very confused because I saw the Raven and then I saw Matrix, and I was like, I haven't seen this in a long time. I mean, it could actually be real, don't get me wrong. Because maybe he's like, okay, against Robo first, it's very likely that you go for a mega early Colossus. And against Mega early Colossus, I would like to get Interference Matrix, but it is a fake. He just wanted to scare Trigger and give him the idea that this could be Cloaked Banshees. But it's not Cloaked Banshees. We know that. Trigger doesn't know that yet. So he might build 1, if not 2 observers. And that's also the last time that I saw Bunny, by the way, in the RSL group. Wasn't really Bunny's day. It's not like he looked very out of it, but also not quite peak Bunny. Something that I say quite often when I cast Bunny, and it's maybe not the most positive thing ever to bring up, but I've always felt that Bunny's absolute peak was that DreamHack final, where it really looked like that was going to be Bunny's moment, and he was going to win an international prestigious Starcraft 2 tournament, had an amazing grand final, had an amazing run throughout the entire weekend, but then lost in a very close wild series against Hero. I believe that was DreamHack Atlanta way back. The casters back then were in Sweden, and the gamers and all the fans were live in America. And after that, I've always feel like Bunny has declined a tiny bit. Like, I guess emotionally that was, I think, just very difficult for him to overcome. It felt like that was going to be his weekend, and that could have been like such a big momentum boost for his entire career. And I think if Bunny would have won that, the 3 years afterwards would have looked very different than they currently look. Hello, Naruto. Thank you so much, matey. Danke for the raid. I really appreciate it. We are in the first game of the best of 5, where Trigger has gone for a quick 3-base setup. All the probes, but does not have the biggest army. He's going to have a quick Colossus, 2 Immortals and a Colossus. Skiting a little bit with the Stalkers. This is the kind of game that could really be over with the very first attack. Yeah, BattleBee has also been kind of inactive. He didn't come out to the last big Cape Cup either. I don't know, I don't think that BattleBee is really playing. He obviously was always a student. He was still going to university. I don't know. We may see like the return of BattleBee eventually for maybe Home Story Cup 30 or maybe the next big Cape Cup. But haven't seen him in a while. Doesn't sign up for anything. Doesn't really play in anything. Don't see him on streams. Bunny is not sieged up here, and that's a bit of a problem, as the Trigger is going to get a great jump on this army. Stalkers and Immortals will take care of the 2 tanks. The Colossus does die, and the Bio does surprisingly well. I'm actually a bit shocked by how this fight went, because I thought Trigger was going to get a great dive on this army, but actually it is Bunny who's wiping the floor with most of the key units, and now all that's left is a bunch of gateway units that don't have any upgrades. I thought it would go a lot worse for Bunny than it ended up going. Despite the fact that the tanks were not even sieged at first, Trigger is in trouble. He does obviously have a lot of production. He's got 4 gateways powered by Warp Gate technology, so he's going to be able to pump out units very quickly. And he does have a new Colossus on the way. The medevac count is really high. Really, really high. There is no 3rd command center on the side of our Korean Terran. So 8 minutes into game 1 of our Big Brain Bouts, a main event. Things are close, but I think it looks okay for Bunny, as long as he finds more follow-up damage soon. Trigger going up to 4 bases. Does have a new Colossus out. Extended Turbulence about to finish up, but no +2, no blink. I think with this many Widow Mines, though, the Zealots should not be all that impactful. As you guys can see, all the Zealots go down rather quickly, while some of the mines haven't even fired yet. Now they have all fired. Can Trigger save this base? I don't think he can. But can he get enough Zealots out, or maybe an Immortal, to keep these Marauders at bay? There is a moment, guys, if it's pure Stalker, that Marauders can definitely stim forward and make a dive for that Colossus. Marines never want to be in front of the Marauders. It's really close. A few more Zealots show up. This is the moment where the Marauders go for the Big Daddy, but nice micro on the side of Trigger, to be fair. He loses it, but he killed a lot of Bio. 2 more mines haven't fired yet. They will fire. It's a mega close fight. It's Bunny with the army supply advantage, but obviously Trigger with the economic lead and Trigger with defenders advantage. Still only 4 gateways though. How good can these 4 gateways be against this many medevacs? Energy recharge gets used, but a lot of the Widow Mines have not fired. 1 Colossus. We're going to pull the probes and we're going to have another Colossus spawn, but there are some Vikings in the mix, and having that constant pressure on the Colossus is just super nice for Bunny here. The probes are doing a decent job in at least keeping the Bio at bay. Great save on the Colossus again. But 23 probes have gone down. That means that even if Trigger is a 3-base Protoss now, it's just not going to be enough. He's going to lose the final Stalkers, 2 Zealots and a Colossus. think Bunny has done it. Mega close. Still a few more units popping out, but to be fair, it's not that much bio remaining. Has Bunny does it? It feels like he's done it. We're about to get +2. Stalkers do have blink. I feel like if you could warp in like 6 Stalkers here, this ring would be alive. We're still just kind of building these units one by one, and they are obviously building very, very quick. Oh, it's so freaking close, but now with the Robo going down, this has gotta be Bunny. Even if Bunny has no upgrade. How rare is that, guys, to see a Terran in a 10-minute game and a 0-0. We of course have Stim and Combat Shield. No upgrade. Stalkers with +2 against 0-0 Marauders actually becomes a pretty doable fight. Hello? Guys? I mean, the Robo dying is very problematic, and Bunny is going up to 3 bases behind this. What a game and what a fight. How is every fight today just a never-ending battle? What happened to these 2 armies running into each other and one guy winning the fight and that is it? Upgrades are mega important in this matchup, and you can really see how impactful those shots are of these Stalkers with +2. And if Trigger didn't lose the Robo, I'd be like, well, Trigger is most certainly winning this. Having to rebuild the Robo sucks a little, but he's up to 5 gateways. He might get 2 medevacs here. He could have. No, he does not. He finds 1 medevac instead with 2 Widow Mines. Gets both of them. Sick game. Another sick game. Cannot say that we're having a bad night of games, guys. I think last Monday in the Monday Night Weekly, we had a bit of a rough night. It just almost felt that nothing was close, nothing was exciting, nothing was back and forth. After that, we did the Kung Fu Cup on Wednesday, and that was also not my all-time favorite weekly cup. Tonight, the games are ridiculous. The battles just last for minutes. Like, yeah. If every game looks like this, live would be fantastic. But it would also be very exhausting to be a solo commentator. We'd have to scale back the amount of casting that we do. But a very fun first game between Bunny and Trigger. Where economically it is very competitive right now. We'd even say that Bunny's economy is slightly better, even though Trigger is the one going up to 4 bases. Obviously a Terran being only down 2 workers, but having access to triple Mew is great. Bunny throws down a scan as he wants to see how far along is Trigger in rebuilding that base. I'm just mostly worried about the upgrades though. Like, Protoss can definitely win a fight being down 20 supply but being up 2 upgrades. Cheeky Guardian Shield. 5! Oh. For a second I thought he was going up to 5 bases. I was like, what? We have 50 something probes. Excellent Friday evening. Even if the rest of this series does not deliver, I'm already happy today, guys. The goal is always very simple. Get fun, competitive Starcraft going on the Friday night. Give people something to watch. And then I hope that in the process of that, I also am entertained and I'm having fun. Today's been really fun. The real question is, who's gonna walk away with the $200 for winning this best of 5? This is only game 1, so obviously it doesn't really say a whole lot about what's gonna happen in the rest of the series. Viking count is 5. Is that the right amount against Colossus with an armor upgrade and Guardian Shield? Bio ball is obviously quite large now. And it's gonna be insane. If Trigger gets his hands on +3 for the units against Bunny, who at best is gonna have +1 armor, he's really in trouble. A Colossus is just gonna hit like a Volvo truck. They will even kill Marauders. This is a vintage Bunny game, by the way. I'm not gonna say that very often I'm able to guess which Terran is playing without like seeing the name tag. But this really does scream Bunny to me all over. It's just kind of non-stop battling, non-stop aggression. Tiny bit of lack of macro when it comes to like expanding, but just units, and trying to end the game. You can really see the impact that these upgrades are having. The Terran units are just not performing as well as they normally are. Trigger does feel for a split second and he needs to pull the probes before a few extra zealots show up. 1 Colossus has gone down. More Marauder Stim forward, down 3 upgrades. HeroMarine fires in the middle of the Colossus and the Stalker. 1 more Marauder comes in from the top. The other one leads the charge. In the end, Trigger again with a fantastic Colossus save. Upgrades. Trigger holds, and I think with that hold, and with us closing in on +3 ground weapons, this has got to be a 1-0 lead for Trigger, no? Looked like he was dead. What a hold that was in the end. It's obviously like still a bit weird with all these gateways never being upgraded into warp gates, but the boost that you have when it comes to the production cycles is just units just pop, 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 pop. And, you know, Bunny had a lot of medevacs, but basically all of them are out of energy. Vikings are going very far forward. They don't even get the second Colossus. 11 kills on this 18 HP Colossus. We end the game with a 1 HP Colossus. And Trigger, despite the fact that it looked like he was in so much trouble, still wins, takes the 1-0 lead in this best of 5 that was played a couple of hours ago. So we don't really have to wait, we don't have to set up lobbies. I can hop into game 2 immediately if I want to. And I think you guys would like that, and I would like that. But let's just do it. Eternity's Edge was our second battleground between these two gamers.
Round 2. Fight!
In the top left side of Eternity's Edge, we are looking in the main base of our Canadian Protoss representing Basilisk. This is Trigger. I haven't mentioned it in a while, but 2 or 3 weeks ago, guys, for the first time ever, there is now an option for you to get your hands on Basilisk merch. There is a rugby shirt available. If you do !shirt in the chat, there will be a link to our web shop. This is temporary. This will not be available forever. There's obviously a very good chance that in the future we'll have different items available. But for now, this shirt is a one unique chance. You can obviously get stuff on the back as well. You can, if you ever somehow make it to an offline event and I'm there and I see RotterdaM on the back, guaranteed hugs and a guaranteed drink on the house. Bottom right side, it's our Korean Terran player, currently teamless, sending out an SCV in a bit of an odd route. We'll keep an eye on it. Maybe he's worried about proxies. Maybe he's got some evil plans, who knows. Our Korean Terran, down 0-1. It is Bunny. And some of you guys may have missed it. Some of you guys may not have missed it. Yesterday while I was streaming Zero Space for the very first time, there was a Basilisk announcement. And world-class chess player Anish Giri has now also joined Basilisk. Obviously a fantastic pickup for the organization that I'm very proudly a member of. We already had Vincent Kamer on the team, who is elite, as good as they come. But it's fantastic to also have Anish Giri on the team. That chess department is flying. Vincent Kamer and Anish Giri. Kind of like having Serral and Reynor. Kasparov next. Legend. Absolute legend. I don't know too much about chess, but obviously like I'm a bit more up to date on what's currently happening. But historically, before Basilisk made or showed the first interest in chess, I didn't know all that much about it. I obviously knew that Magnus Carlsen is considered the GOAT, and when I grew up, the talk of the town was always about Kasparov. But that was basically where my knowledge ended. What? Giri is a massive pickup? I know. I mean, Vincent Kamer is also massive, right? Like, having Vincent is amazing. But Anish Giri is most certainly a massive pickup. I completely understand that some of you video gamers may not have interest in chess. That's fine, to each their own. But I know there is a decent amount of overlap. And a lot of Starcraft fans do love either watching chess or play chess. And I'm sure most of you guys are very familiar with Anish Giri. I recently had the chance to meet him as I went over to his town to record a little video that was part of the announcement. Chance to sit down with him and talk to him for a little while. Super nice guy. Obviously mega smart. And I really look forward to him representing Basilisk in the upcoming chess tournaments. Bunny, his Reaper, has found the proxy Stargate of Trigger. We had an eBay block that forced Trigger to expand elsewhere. There is a probe here. This Reaper is going to kill the pylon, guys, before the Oracle comes out. And that is obviously kind of bad news for Trigger. Now, the second pylon will allow Trigger to get this Oracle out. But this still gives Bunny an additional 15 seconds to get ready and deal with this. Seems like we're going for a bit of a SAM defense over here. Bunkers, bunkers, bunkers everywhere. Anish did well in the candidates tournament. Yeah. I mean, he was probably hoping for even more, but he had a good run. I think Anish Giri almost always has a pretty good run. That Oracle, by the way, is still going to find damage. I'm a little bit surprised by this. I guess it was just not possible for Bunny to get enough anti-air out in time. Even if you... Man, that's a lot, guys. 5 SCVs is a serious amount. Ah, Trigger finds that one as well. The OG scouting and eBay blocking SCV gets picked off. It was actually a lovely pickup because at this point Bunny doesn't have that many SCVs. Yeah, I thought this would go better for Bunny, guys. I thought this would look a bit better for Bunny 5 minutes in. Should still have potential maybe in like his first move out, but I'm even thinking like what kind of a move out would that be? We don't have a starport, we're not gonna have a crazy amount of bio units. Yeah, I'd be lying if I say that I'm very hopeful for the chances of our Korean Terran that's down 0-1. We didn't have a single 3-0 today yet. That's always my goal for the Big Brain Bouts. Try to make a couple series and avoid 3-0s. We've had a 3-1 and a 3-1, but with very dramatic, long back and forth games. So that felt like as big of a victory as I could find. I'd be a bit sad if this does end in a 3-0. I did kind of jinx it right when I say I was already happy. Yeah, this was an eBay. This was not a proxy Rex. Terrans like to build an eBay in the nature of their opponents because they build very quickly, they're cheap, and they generate HP very quickly. So you don't need to be building for a very long time to get a lot of HP on it, which makes it difficult for probes to take care of it. Bunny's economy looks horrible, no? Down 14 SCVs. It's just looks very sad. Scouting Reaper sees perhaps the expected. Does get a nice count on the gateways actually. This is somewhat of a nice scout. Knowing that your opponent has 4 gate with a Twilight Council rather than it being another quick Robo or an early Forge. By the time that Bunny is even thinking of moving out. And this game just looks so bad for Bunny. I'm like legitimately shocked. That Oracle, despite the fact that it was quite delayed. Now for Trigger, it's important to mention this was an early double. Oh my goodness, Bunny, what is that? Oh my goodness, that was dangerous. Does get the double lock on and deals a bit of damage to the Oracle. These Marines, guys, don't have stim. We don't have combat shield. We've got no tanks. If Trigger controls this well, he's gonna straight up win. There is a tank that's gonna siege up now. Trigger sees it. Trigger gets in range, gets the tank rather quickly. Double stasis trap in the main base. I don't even know if Bunny's aware of it. Trigger is trying to bait Bunny into the stasis trap, and that kind of works. This is just looking really bad for the Korean Terran, who's already down 0-1 here in the main event. We're now forced to pull SCVs. We lose the medevac with a Cyclone inside of it. And this game is just over. The power of Proxy Stargate on this 8-worker video gaming patch, I guess on full display, because we did take both gases before we thought of expanding, but holy hell, that just felt after we lost those 5 SUVs. Well, make it 6 because the scouting SUV got picked up as well. That Bunny was almost all out of options, and going double Cyclone, I don't really understand like the Cyclone, Widowmine Cyclone, maybe praying that the Oracle flies into the Widowmine. But I don't know, that just like Bunny was actually gearing up for a move out, and if you're gearing up for a move out and you end up dying against Stalkers while Protoss goes up to 3 bases at home, that really tells you everything you need to know about the state of that game. Fantastic news for the Canadian Protoss. Trigger taking the 2-0 lead in this edition of the Big Brain Bouts main event. It's not over yet, but he's going to be feeling really good. Or he had to be feeling really good about this, as these games were played a couple hours ago, but they were played today.
Round 3. Fight.
2-0 lead in the main event, 1 map away from winning 200 buckies. It is a best of 5. I will always show how long the series are between the score of a series, and that will always be updated. Bottom left side, our Canadian Protoss living in South Korea. It is a Trigger. The stasis trap was big, but I think even without a big stasis trap, the Trigger was just flying in that game. Not just with the Oracles, but flying across the board. Top right side, the man was very happy and eager to accept. He was completely down, by the way, with playing these games at 3 a.m. He said it's absolutely not a problem. But in the end, Trigger asked if he could play a bit earlier. And that obviously works out for him as well, because we're in the same time zone. But I've always loved him. I've always cheered for him, especially when he's not going up against Basilisk members. Super nice, just legend. We can safely call him a legend, even if he doesn't quite have the resume of a Beyond or Maru or Innovation. He's been around for so long and he has entertained us over the years. And on top of that, he's just a great individual, great personality. It is Bunny, Korean Terran. Yeah, it was a mega close hold, 300 Pinkley. Of course, these games, guys, this part of the VOD will be posted on YouTube. Exclamation mark YouTube or exclamation mark Basilisk will get you there. I assume that it will be posted tomorrow. So if you want to take another look at that very fun, exciting Game 1, it will be available there in the near future. While we're at it, if you guys love the Big Brain Bouts, whether you ever watch it back on YouTube or you only ever watch it live here on Twitch, it'd be super awesome if you guys could subscribe to the YouTube channel. That makes Basilisk very happy. So a little exclamation mark YouTube, exclamation mark Basilisk, and go ahead and show my team some love for giving out all these buckies to the video gamers over the years. 123 editions of at least 500 bucks. We've had a few special editions as well where it was even more. I think it's safe to say that it's been a big asset to the scene. A lot of gamers have loved it. It also is a really good opportunity to motivate a couple of players that sometimes play a bit less. Because players love to play, obviously, if there is a guaranteed prize on the line. I hope for Bunny that he can turn things around. He'll walk away with 50 bucks regardless. Even if he loses this 3-0, he will still get 50 buckies for his efforts and his time. But I'm sure that he won't be feeling very good about it. Last time it didn't go his way against Reynor, but he did have some fun games. And there was a bit of back and forth, and there was some vintage Bunny gameplay. Game 1 was excellent, but Game 2 must have been mega frustrating. I, of course, don't know how much everyone plays at any given moment if they don't sign up for tournaments. Sometimes it's a bit of a guessing game for me as well. There is a good chance that Bunny does not love the 8 work of video gaming. And his build, by the way, looks like a bit of a mess. Guess it's okay. Minus supply block, but not too bad. Yeah. And maybe after Bunny lost in the RSL group, where he was in the same group as Serral, perhaps he has taken a tiny break from the game as well. I don't know. Thank you, Basilisk. Thank you. I appreciate it, mate. Of course, subscribing on YouTube is free, guys. And it really goes a long way. Makes us happy. Makes me happy. Makes the team happy. Even makes Serral and Reynor happy. I've got it on the record. Very reliable source. Serral and Reynor appreciate it. And of course, Trigger. And Vincent Gamer. And Anish Geary. And Cowhill. And Ristic Studies, if you guys love Magic the Gathering. And hopefully soon, many, many more. Justin Wong, of course. Trigger has actually been playing quite a bit of Street Fighter, which I find kind of fun. I personally am absolutely horrible in fighting games, but I do think it's mega exciting to watch it. I'd love to see Trigger one day participate in a Street Fighter event. That'd be really cool. Trigger has always struck me as a very intelligent, hardworking young man. So if he's getting serious about Street Fighter and he plays it a whole lot more, I'd love to see him sign up for like a local tournament. You hit 1600 MR in Street Fighter 6. It's probably your ceiling. I have no idea about his level. But I don't think I've ever seen Trigger be really bad in a video game. He's amazing in Osu. I believe he's quite good in Counter-Strike as well, as he plays that with his friends sometimes. He's obviously an amazing Starcraft 2 player who had a very impressive growth, where there was an era where a lot of NA players would get quite good, but they get up to a certain level. That'd kind of just be hard stuck. That would be it. Safe to say that Trigger most certainly broke through that ceiling by even qualifying for the Esports World Cup in 2025. Bunny has gone for a single Hellion drop. Obviously it looks a little bit goofy, but sometimes a single Hellion can deal a lot of damage. But the biggest plan for this Hellion is obviously just to get a good scout off. To have an idea of what Trigger is doing. We already saw the Robo earlier. We see the Twilight Council now. We've seen the third base. Bunny was mega close into defeating this build in game 1. And I think that first big fight where Trigger kind of caught Bunny off guard with the 2 Immortals, the Guardian Shield and the Colossus. If Bunny would have seen that move outcome, if he would have sieged up his tanks, knowing how close that game got for like 2 minutes straight, it's safe to say that if Bunny got a tiny bit more value out of his tanks, he should have won that, right? Game 2, I would most certainly agree, Mikey. I think game 1, Bunny looked good. Seems like Bunny has done some SCV cutting as well, and the plan is very simple for Bunny. Win. Win with the first move out. Hello, Fallen Ninja. Justin Wong and Basilisk is crazy work. It's almost like Basilisk is starting to gather a whole bunch of legends in various scenes, eh? Hopefully this is just the beginning of a very exciting long journey. It's been super fun, obviously, to see Basilisk grow. And what's even more cool, by the way, is that out of all the guys that we have just mentioned, Trigger was the first member of Basilisk. I had some meetings early on with the people in charge, and needless to say, I spoke very highly about our Canadian Protoss. And Trigger joined even before I officially joined. And it's obviously been amazing to watch him improve and follow his growth. And see all these other amazing names join Basilisk over the last 4 years at this point. We've got a Marauder, lots of Marines and triple tanks. The Zealot count is quite high. It's an SCV pool for Bunny, and this needs to go Bunny's way, because if it doesn't go Bunny's way, this is going to be the end. I would have loved to see the other turret go down a tiny bit earlier. The tanks have died, and with a Colossus on the way, guys, I'm really afraid for Bunny that this is just not going to be it. He is down 30 workers. He's down in army supply. Trigger keeps his gateways as regular gates, despite the fact that he's got Warp Gate. It gives him crazy production. And where game 1 was fantastic, awesome and close, game 2 and game 3 is just a very one-sided affair. Trigger gets a 3-0 in this edition of the Basilisk main event. So always a bit sad that out of the 3 series, this was maybe the least exciting one. The first one was really funny and cool and interesting, and the second one was truly unique and bizarre. Game 1 between these two was excellent, was mega close, obviously impressive win by Trigger. Game 2 and game 3, unfortunately a bit one-sided, and well, some of you guys said it, Bunny looks rusty. I haven't seen a lot of Bunny lately. I invite him on purpose to an event like this, while knowing that we haven't seen that much of him lately, so hopefully he has something to look forward to, a chance to win $200 without having to win a weekly cup where you have to defeat Clem and Hero, Beyond, name it. Was hoping to see a better version of Bunny today. First game was great though, but yeah, second and third game unfortunately a bit too one-sided. It is what it is, but it's fantastic for Trigger that he comes back to the Big Brain Bouts and gets a clean sweep. Clean sweep is quite rare in the main event, so congrats. Bit of a shame, because we had a really bizarre, cool, awesome, unique night. Now the ending, yeah, ended a bit one-sided in the end, but it's all good. It was still fun.